Hey everyone, and welcome back to another video. In this video, I'm going to be carving one of these a little bit thicker pencils. Now, I got this idea from both a YouTuber and my dad. So there's a YouTuber out there named Doug Linker who made a carving video, kind of carving with this kind of cartoonish expression face. He did it a little differently, so instead it was like a part of the eye, it was like the whole eye, so made it kind of like this more like, and it was actually a hot dog. And I just love the carving idea so much that I decided to do it myself. So I've been messing around with some carvings, and this is two of them. And I just been messing around, having fun. I really enjoy this. And then I was showing some of the carvings I was doing to my dad, and he recommended actually doing a thick pencil, which is what I'm doing today. And honestly, I just really love it. So one of the things that the YouTuber Doug Linker did was he kept the whole eye full, so it kind of had this big like woo, like hello expression, which kind of helps like this very almost exaggerated cartoonish feel look to it, which I really liked. But I wanted to take it a step further and just play with it a little bit. So like as you can see, this one has the eyes. This one's kind of like that very over-the-top, happy expression face. And what I did was I actually looked up on the internet. I believe I typed in something along the lines of like cartoon face, no nose, or something like that. Because like as you can see, this one doesn't have, they don't have noses on them, which kind of brings the little charm to it. And we came up with all kinds, and I went to the image section and came up with all kinds of different images. And what I did was over here, as you can see, I just copy and pasted into a Google Doc, and I got all these different facial expressions of different kinds. Like some are happy, some are just goofy, a little devious, sad, upset. And there's just all kinds of different big expressions that you kind of see in a cartoon. And I really like this idea. So what I've been doing is, here, let me get my camera back set up. So what I've been doing is taking those images from, or excuse me, those cartoon faces, and seeing about transferring them over to here, which is where I got these two things, these two faces. And that's what I'm going to show you how to do today. So for the carving, what I'm going to use is a 1/4-inch dowel. The only reason I'm using a 1/4-inch dowel is honestly twofold. I had a different project idea that I wanted to do for carving, and it would be easier to carve it and get a dowel versus spending like 20 minutes making it circular. So, but you can do this with like a regular block of wood like this. That's another carving video I'm gonna do later on. But you can just take like a block of wood like this, round it, or just go flat and just carve it, whatever. But I'm just gonna be using a dowel. This is a 1/4 inch. It is 3.5 inches long. And then the only other dimensions that I use on this is for where the eraser and the little metal piece is on the pencil. Because you know, you got that little metal piece and then the eraser. That dimension is, the eraser part right here is 1/2 inch, and then that's a 1/4 inch. So in total, that's 3/4 inch. That's a 1/2, that's a 1/4. And yeah, that's pretty much all the measurements you need for this. And let's think here. I believe that should be it. As always, make sure you have your carving glove with you. Mine's covered in wood chips right now because I've been carving. And I covered up with electrical tape on the holes so I don't cut myself. But make sure you have that on, and then make sure your carving knife is nice and sharp and ready to go. Anyway, let's get going. ready. That's it right here. So off the camera, what I did was cleaned it up a little bit, and some of the things were basically, I haven't touched this, where I just basically took the top layer of the wood off, because you don't want that original surface of the wood to still be on it, because it doesn't look as good. Because it's like all of a sudden it has all these facets, and then it's just like the smooth wood. It just doesn't look as nice. So I just did that off the camera, and then did any cleaning up. Basically, like down here, there was 1 or 2 rough spots. So I just did a quick like 1 or 2 sweeps of the knife. Same thing up here, just cleaned that up. But besides that, that's about it. I also did run it over 120 grit sandpaper over it, just to give it a little bit of a nice touch to it. But yeah, overall, that's it right there. And just to help give it, oh, throw my pencil around. There's the other one. But just to help give it a little bit more personality, show off my drawing skills under pressure of the camera. There we go. That's not too bad. There we go. Just give it a little bit of eyes. They're not quite perfect, but just to give it a little more personality to it. But yeah, and overall, that's all you gotta do. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please leave a like, subscribe if you want to, and hope you all have a good day. See ya.